Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Hardela. I'm a student of English Department Study Program at Bengkulu University. Now, I will present my research proposal with the title EFL Students' Difficulties in the Toefl Structure and Written section. I have divided my chapter into 3 chapters. The first chapter is Introduction, the second chapter is Literature Review, and the third chapter is Methodology. Let's look at the first chapter, Introduction. One of the types language test is Toefl, which stands for Test of English as a Foreign Language to measure people proficiency level of non-native speakers. Toefl is one of the most familiar and valid tests used in the world. There are some reasons why numerous individuals take the Toefl test. First is to ensure guarantee their capacity in English. The second reason is to requirement complete college, and the last reason is for specific things. And in Indonesia, a number of universities determine TOEFL score as the graduation standard requirement. English department program in Bengkulu University set a minimum requirement TOEFL score 450 to take their thesis exam. However, the students find it difficult in answering the TOEFL test, especially in structure and written section. Based on the data of UPT Bahasa Bengkulu University, one of the most hardest of TOEFL tests is structure and written section. And the statement of the problem in this research is structure and written section has been problematic in the students who take TOEFL tests. Because most of the students has the difficulties in answer the test, and most of the students often feel stressed with this part, and they cannot pass the TOEFL test because has a low score. And students don't know the strategy that they can use in answering TOEFL test. The next is research question. Based on the background of the study, the research will set out the research question into 2 research questions. The first is, what are the difficulties faced by EFL students in TOEFL test in structure and written section? And the second is, what strategies do students do to overcome the difficulties? And based on the research question, the researcher set out the objective of the research into 2 objectives. The first is to identify difficulties encountered by EFL students in TOEFL test of structure and written section. And the second objective is to observe strategies applied by EFL students to overcome the difficulties encountered in TOEFL test of structure and written section. And this research is expected to be able to significance both students and lecturers. For students, this research is hopes that can make students aware of the difficulties in answering structure and written section, which then this research can be used as a reference before taking the TOEFL test. So the difficulties they face can be minimized. For lectures, this research expected to see what strategies can be applied in the structure and written section lesson that will make the learning process run well. The next is limitation of the research. This research is only focused on analyzing the difficulties who took TOEFL tests, especially the ones who always failed in the TOEFL test. And the researcher limited the object only the 7th semester students in English foreign language. The next is chapter 2, literature review. Definition of test. A test, in simple terms, is a method of measuring a person's ability, knowledge, or performance in a given domain. Brown 2004, page 14. And definition of standardized of test. Standardized testing means a test is administered and scored in predetermined and way. Popam 19 and 99. And the last is Toefl. Overview of the Toefl. Yes, Toefl, which stands for Test of English as a Foreign Language, is a standardized test to measuring students' language capabilities, student English language capabilities. And the types of Toefl, the first is the paper-based Toefl, the second is the computer-based Toefl, the third is the internet-based Toefl, and the fourth is institutional testing program. The next is previous study. There are 3 previous studies in this research. The first is Nurhayati 2016, entitled An Analysis of Student Strategies in Answering Toefl. And second is Hajri 2019, entitled An Analysis of Difficulties in Answering Structure and Written Expression of Toefl, made by English students of Universitas Negeri Padang. The last is Mayuwasti 2019, entitled Students' Ability in the Toefl Like Structure Subtest, a study at STKIP PGRI of West Sumatra. Okay, the next is about chapter 3, methodology. In this research, using mixed method, the quantitative data is to give detailed information about the first research question about the EFL students' difficulties in the Toefl structure and written section in a numerical way, and the qualitative data is used to see what strategies to answer the second research question about the strategies that students use. And then the population of the study were all 7 semester students of English department of University of Bengkulu who took the Toefl test. And the sample is the researcher chose 15 students of English department 7th semester who joined Toefl test at Bengkulu University. Instrument of the research. Instrument of this research is test and interview. The research used tests to get information about the most difficult element in the structure and written expression section, which was administered to 15 students. The sources of the test was adopted from Toefl books, and the researcher gives several questions to know the potential strategy of students to get a higher score or to increase their score. And then there is a research procedure in this research. Is the researchers gave a test to the students to see it's to know their difficulties answering the structure and written section, and then the researcher interviewed the students who get the minimum requirement and who didn't. And then there is a data collection. The data of this research was collected through the structure and written section of Toefl test and interview. In the test, the students were asked to choose the correct answer, which consists of all indicators of structure and written section of Toefl test. And the researcher used semi-structured interview. There were 2 questions provided by the researcher and could be more. And the last is data analysis. Data analysis is based on the Sudijono 2018. Okay, thank you so much for your attention. I'm so sorry because if I have a mistake. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.